No, I'm gonna go. Okay. All right. Here we go. So Jess had shared that she and other SEs were dumping a lot of time into cloning documents from the demo environment into customer environment. So I wanted to help them out with that. So we have, I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to clone this test dash. So what I'm going to do is actually use the new API that I created to dump out the definition of that. So here's sort of like the full JSON serialized definition of test dash. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paste it into this document. This is just a file on my file system called postbody. Going to add this base model ID parameter to it. And then I'm going to go over to a totally different organization. This one, it's brand new. Actually, I just created this morning, and I added the same connection, the ecom dataset connection to the to this org. You can see it here. So I'm going to grab, and this is just like, I haven't done anything to this model yet. Just saved it, or just ran the scheme refresh. I'm going to grab the ID of that model. I'm going to put it into this base model ID parameter. Save it. I'm going to go back over to my terminal. Oh wait, I already created an API key for this. Oh boy, what's my computer doing? There it is. For this new org. So I've got this demo key. I've already copied and pasted that. And I'm going to go back to my terminal. And I am going to run, okay, so there's the API key. I'm going to pass in that post body, and I'm going to pass it to this V0 documents import API endpoint. And it's going to give me back a bunch of metadata about what it did, but the important one is this identifier. So if I grab this identifier, go back over, and we actually don't even need the identifier because this is going to actually just show up right here on the home page. Test dash is now in this new org. I pull it up, and it's a little broken because I didn't define a topic. So let me just go define that topic super quick. Let's see, I'll just grab it from here. Okay, let's try this again. Hey, all right, cool. So now we have, this is the original test dash. Oh boy, I dragged that poorly. Go right here. So here's the original. Here's the new one. They are identical. I try to get like textiles, all the ordering's the same, filters, et cetera, et cetera. So it should be comprehensive. I'm sure I missed something here, but I've covered quite a bit of ground in the first pass here. So should be able to hopefully speed up Jess's workflow quite a bit. That is all.
Is this just, I mean, is this any different than the work that we would do to get to version content?
The difference is that I am not going to guarantee that this will not break.
Perfect.
But yeah, here's what I would propose, which is I would feel comfortable doing this as like a beta for a handful of customers if that is an important use case for them. And the deal would have to be that we would have to, I expect that this API is going to change in some breaking ways. And so we would just want to work closely with them to navigate those. And then, I think the challenge with the serialization is just like locking in the actual structure, right? And that's kind of, I don't think we're quite ready to do that. I think we should move in that direction, and this can kind of be a baby step towards that.
Yeah, but look, in the short term, it will always be right? Like your concern would be that the content API essentially changes over time and evolves, and your backup won't be valid anymore. But if we don't talk about them as long-term backups and they're more short-term backups, then it just works.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the key caveat is like this is good. You know, if you want to, it's not good as an archive. It's good as a copy mechanism.
Yeah, and archivally, it still has a lot of information on it. So like, it's not bad as an archive. It's just not complete, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's right, and which is why I think this could be useful. I don't want to prevent people from using it, but I also just don't want to guarantee that we will maintain it in such a way that will make sure every document ever still works.
Could users also then touch the spec and adjust their dashboard?
Yep.
Yeah, this is also programmatic content generation too,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is awesome also, which, this is super cool.
Yeah, I think we should use this for copying. I think we should just be careful to not paint ourselves into a corner saying this is our form of serialized content, because I think we have better plans for that. Cool. Yeah, we'll start. Hopefully, this covers the use case that Jess and the other SEs have, so we can just start testing it there, and then sort of expand from there.
I guess sort of like other odds and ends. Would this also allow us to move content across connection? Like, what is the key for a piece of content? Is it field names? Is the connection hashed into the field names or things like that? Like,
so it is the model definition is of course not changing, but all of the pointers, so connection ID, model ID, are changing. So
okay. So theoretically,
yes,
you could move a piece of content cross connection if the fields are identical.
Yeah, exactly. Because sort of the contract is like, hey, the model underneath, the definitions need to be consistent.
Do we have a short-term or like a medium-term roadmap for how much other APIs that could go alongside this? So, for example, like sitting content in folders or content org, or even more, programmatic editing of pieces of content too? Or is this sort of first stab and then we'll see?
Yeah, I would say no, we don't have a written roadmap like that at all, other than, I think we have talked about priorities from an API perspective. This is probably not even the highest next priority. I think things that play into the CI/CD story and then the query API are probably not higher. So I would probably, to the extent that I continue working on the API, I'd probably think more about those next. But yeah, obviously, once we start going into the content APIs, those ones you just mentioned become pretty obvious ones. Ariel, do you have any other thoughts on that one?
Nope, you already answered what I was going to say, which is we had discussed probably query API being one of the top ones, and we have talked about content APIs as like a part. Yeah, we will get to content APIs. We'll certainly need it for embed stories, but not yet.